Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Jack and Emma podcast. We're so happy you're here with us today. Whether you're listening at home, driving to work, taking a walk, or relaxing with a cup of coffee, thank you for joining us. Today, we're going to talk about something exciting, travel. More specifically, we're going to learn how to talk about your travel plans in English. Traveling is one of the most enjoyable experiences in life, but it can also be a little stressful when you need to communicate in another language. So today, Jack and I will show you how to talk naturally about your next trip, your destination, your plans, your hotel, your activities, and the things you want to see and do.
Hi, everyone. I'm excited about today's topic because I love talking about travel. Even when I'm not traveling, I enjoy planning a trip, looking at different destinations, checking hotels, thinking about what food to try, and deciding what places to visit can be almost as exciting as the trip itself. And the great thing about travel is that there are so many useful English words and expressions you can learn.
That's true. And talking about travel is something you may do with friends, coworkers, family members, or even new people you meet. Someone might ask you, are you planning a trip? Or where are you going on vacation? If you know a few simple expressions, you can answer confidently and continue the conversation.
So, Emma, let me ask you a simple question. Do you have any travel plans for the future?
Yes, I do. I'd love to visit a new country next year. I haven't decided exactly where I want to go yet, but I'm thinking about visiting Japan. I've heard so many wonderful things about the country. I'd love to see the cities, visit some traditional places, try the food, and experience the culture.
Japan sounds amazing. I've always wanted to visit too. If I went there, I would probably spend a few days in Tokyo and then travel to another city. I'd like to see both the modern side and the traditional side of the country.
Another very common expression is, I'm planning to. For example, I'm planning to travel next summer. You can also say, I'm planning to visit my family, or I'm planning to take a short vacation.
Exactly. You can also say, I'm going to, when you already have a plan. For example, I'm going to visit Thailand next month, or I'm going to stay at a hotel near the beach. These expressions are simple, but they're very useful.
Let's imagine that someone asks you, where are you going on vacation? You could say, I'm going to Singapore. Then they might ask, when are you going? You could answer, I'm going in July. Then they might ask, who are you going with? You could say, I'm going with my family.
Yes, these questions are very common. When people talk about travel, they usually want to know where you're going, when you're going, who you're going with, how long you'll stay, and what you plan to do. So let's practice these ideas naturally.
Okay, Emma, where would you like to go if you could take a vacation tomorrow? Tomorrow? That's a little sudden, but I think I would choose a beautiful beach destination. Maybe I'd go to a quiet island where I could relax, swim, enjoy fresh food, and watch the sunset. After a busy few months, I think a peaceful beach vacation would be perfect.
That sounds wonderful. I might choose a city instead. I love exploring new cities because there are always interesting places to visit. I like walking around, visiting museums, trying local restaurants, and taking photos. That brings us to another useful travel word, sightseeing. Sightseeing means visiting interesting places as a tourist. For example, we spent the afternoon sightseeing, or I want to go sightseeing when I visit New York.
I really enjoy sightseeing, but I also like having some free time. Sometimes travelers make very long schedules because they want to see everything. They wake up early, visit 5 places, eat quickly, and move to another location. At the end of the day, they're exhausted.
I agree. When I travel, I like having a flexible plan. I choose a few important places to visit, but I don't want every minute of my day planned. Sometimes the best travel experiences happen when you simply walk around and discover something interesting.
That's a good point. Travel isn't only about seeing famous places. It's also about experiencing everyday life. You can visit a local market, talk with people, try a small restaurant, or sit in a park and watch the city.
Exactly. And food is a big part of travel for me. When I visit another country, I always want to try local food. I think food tells us a lot about a culture.
I agree completely. If I travel somewhere new, I usually research a few traditional dishes before I go. Then I make a list of foods I want to try. Sometimes I discover something completely new and delicious.
Another important part of travel planning is booking a flight. We often say, I need to book a flight, or I already booked my flight. If you're traveling by plane, you also need to think about your passport, luggage, and airport transportation.
Yes, and if you're staying at a hotel, you need a reservation. You can say, I booked a hotel room, or I made a hotel reservation. You might also say, I'm staying at a hotel near the city center.
I usually prefer staying somewhere close to the main attractions. It makes transportation easier. I don't want to spend hours traveling from my hotel to every place I want to visit.
I understand. I also like checking reviews before booking a hotel. I want to know if the room is clean, whether the location is convenient, and whether the hotel is quiet.
Reviews can be very helpful, but sometimes you can't believe every review. One person may love a hotel while another person may dislike it. That's why I like reading several reviews before making a decision.
That's a smart idea. Planning a trip also means thinking about your budget. Travel can become expensive if you don't plan carefully. You need to think about transportation, accommodation, food, activities, and shopping.
Yes, I usually decide how much money I want to spend before I travel. Then I make a simple budget. I don't want to come home from vacation and realize that I spent much more money than I expected.
Exactly. A budget gives you more control. You can also save money by booking early, choosing affordable hotels, using public transportation, or eating at local restaurants instead of expensive tourist restaurants.
Another important question is, how long are you staying? This is a very common travel question. You can answer, I'm staying for 5 days, or I'm going to stay for 2 weeks.
And sometimes people ask, are you traveling alone? That's another useful question. You can say, yes, I'm traveling alone, or no, I'm traveling with my friends.
I've traveled with friends before, and it can be a lot of fun. But traveling with other people also requires communication. You have to decide where to eat, where to go, when to wake up, and how much money to spend.
That's true. Everyone has different travel styles. One person might want to wake up early and visit museums, while another person wants to sleep late and relax. Talking about your preferences before the trip can prevent problems later.
That's a great point. You can say, I'd like to visit this place, or I'd rather stay at the hotel this morning. The phrase, I'd rather, is useful when you want to express a preference.
For example, I'd rather eat at a local restaurant than go to a fast food restaurant, or I'd rather take a train than a bus. These are natural ways to talk about your choices.
I also think packing is an important part of travel. I always make a packing list because I don't want to forget something important.
What's the most important thing you always pack?
My phone charger. I absolutely need it. I also pack comfortable clothes, walking shoes, toiletries, my passport, and some basic medicine. And I always bring a small bag for daily activities.
Good choices. I always pack comfortable shoes because I usually walk a lot when I travel. I might also bring a small backpack, a water bottle, sunglasses, and a camera.
Comfortable shoes are very important. You may think you'll only walk a little, but when you're exploring a new city, you can easily walk for hours without realizing it.
That's so true. And then at night, your feet are telling you that they've had enough.
Exactly. Another thing travelers need to think about is the weather. Before I travel, I always check the weather forecast. If it's going to rain, I pack an umbrella or a rain jacket. If it's going to be hot, I bring light clothes, sunscreen, and a hat.
Weather can completely change your travel experience. A beautiful sunny day is perfect for sightseeing, while heavy rain might change your plans. That's why it's good to have a backup plan.
Yes, if you're planning to spend the whole day outside and it rains, you can visit a museum, go shopping, have a long lunch, or find a cozy cafe. A little flexibility can make your trip less stressful.
Speaking of stress, airports can sometimes be stressful. There are many things to remember. You need your passport, boarding pass, luggage, and sometimes travel documents.
That's why I like arriving at the airport early. I'd rather have extra time than run through the airport because I'm late.
Same here. I also check my flight information before leaving home. I want to know the departure time, the terminal, and whether there are any changes.
When you arrive at your destination, you might need to ask for directions. You can say, "Excuse me, how can I get to the city center?" Or, "Could you tell me where the train station is?" These are useful phrases for travelers. You can also ask, "How far is it?" Or, "How long does it take?" For example, how long does it take to get to the hotel? These questions are very common when traveling. Another useful expression is it within walking distance? This means you want to know if you can walk there. That's one of my favorite questions because I love walking. If a place is only 20 minutes away, I usually prefer walking instead of taking a taxi. You get to see more of the city. Walking can also lead to unexpected experiences. Sometimes you discover a beautiful street, a small cafe, or a local shop that you wouldn't have seen from a car.
That's one of the reasons I love traveling. You leave your normal routine and experience something different. You learn new things, meet new people, and sometimes discover new things about yourself.
Travel can also help you become more confident. When you travel to a new place, you have to solve small problems. Maybe you miss a bus, get lost, or need to communicate with someone who speaks another language. Each experience teaches you something.
And for English learners, travel is a fantastic opportunity to practice English in real life. You can order food, check into a hotel, ask for directions, buy tickets, and have conversations with people. Even if you make mistakes, you're learning through experience.
Exactly. Don't be afraid of making mistakes when you travel. If you forget a word, use a simpler word. If you don't understand someone, politely ask them to repeat it. You can say, "Sorry, could you say that again?" Or "Could you speak a little more slowly?"
Those phrases are extremely useful. And remember, communication is more important than perfect grammar. If people understand you, you're doing a good job.
So, Emma, let me ask you a simple question. Do you have any travel plans for the future?
Yes, I do. I'd love to visit a new country next year. I haven't decided exactly where I want to go yet, but I'm thinking about visiting Japan. I've heard so many wonderful things about the country. I'd love to see the cities, visit some traditional places, try the food, and experience the culture.
Japan sounds amazing. I've always wanted to visit too. If I went there, I would probably spend a few days in Tokyo and then travel to another city. I'd like to see both the modern side